Welcome. This is Tug, True You Group, and today is our Sunday service, which is a bite-sized little message and music, and we're really glad you're here with us today. And one of the things that I want to talk about that's been rattling around in my head is, who am I? Who am I? I'm not what I do for a living. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a sister, I'm a friend. I'm all these things, but that is not who I am. So we're going to look into that. And this morning in our morning prayers, my husband was praying and he said out loud that he was blessing Tug. He said, this is a divine idea whose time has come. Don't you love that? I just love that he saw that. And it started a whole conversation with him and I said, we're able to reach people around the world in their space. They don't have to go anywhere. They don't have to do anything except fire up the computer and take part. So thank you for joining us in this divine idea. Earlier this week, I interviewed our own Susanna Cox, who is our meditation expert, and you can find her meditations on our website under the link that says meditations. It's not hidden. And she has been undergoing a 9-month training program with the Chopra Center and the Deepak Chopra Center on primordial sound. And primordial sound is the sound of nature. It's the birds, it's the wind, it's the rain, it's all of that. And it's even the movement of the planets and the constellations. And at the beginning of one of their meditations, she walked us through this and said they are told to ask 4 soul questions. And the first one is, who am I? And to sit with that. Who am I? And we're going to jump into this. The second question is, what do I want? Okay, what do I want? The third question is, what is my purpose? And that might be a little more difficult for some of us to dive into. But the fourth question is, what am I grateful for? And when we begin to look at everything that we are grateful for, it opens up the whole world. Solomon 2:23 says, for God created man to be immortal and made him to be an image of his own eternity. The righteous, because they are made in the image of God, can rest in the full hope of eternal life. Well, I have news for you. Everyone has eternal life because God is eternal and we are part of God. Now, our bodies are not eternal. We drop our bodies, we come into the bodies, we live, we move. And as Paul said, we live and move and have our being in this essence of the Christ Spirit. But we drop our bodies. So where do we come from when we go into the body to be born? Where were we? Where are we now? And where do we go when it's all said and done? I want to tell you this, that of course much of the Bible was written by, it's all written by human beings, but this like the righteous are going to have eternal life. Well, that's not true. Everyone is going to have eternal life. We'll just experience it at different levels. But there is, I hate to burst your bubble, but there is no hell. There's no hell. We all go back to God's source and we do a life review and we see where we are. We make note of our what we did wrong, what we did right, what we want to accomplish, and then zip, we go back into the body again whenever we're ready. So even though those people you wish would go to hell, they're not going to hell. But if you hold on to that idea that they should go to hell, you're already in hell. So I'm just saying. When we look at who we are not these bodies. We use these bodies as a vehicle, and it is a precious gift that God has given us. We can create, we can think, we can taste, we can smell, we can hear music, we can move around. So how are we taking care of our bodies, and how are we taking care of our minds? Are we thinking negative thoughts all the time? Are we just so down on everything? Are we living in fear? Or are we lifting ourselves up and saying, there is so much in this moment, all is well? And it is. All is well. You've heard me talk about Dr. Bruce Lipton before. And Dr. Bruce Lipton is a researcher and a cellular biologist, and he used to teach medical doctors cellular biology. And he worked with DNA back in the 60s. He was one of the pioneers. And so he always just thought of human beings as a collection of cells, okay, that had, synapses and did all of these things. And around the age of 40, he was introduced to the idea that we are much more than this, that we have an energy field, that we are an energy field, and that we emit this energy out into the universe, and we're taking in other people's energy too. And at some point, he realized that we are not a body that has a spirit in it. We are a spirit that encompasses the body. And it just blew his fuse. He was just like, my God, I'm not even in here. Where am I? And he realized that we are all in communication and connection with each other. And when he got that, he started to devise situations where, like his students, he went through a messy divorce. He quit his tenured position with a Midwestern University medical school. He went to an island university where all the losers went, that they couldn't get into real medical school. And he was sitting on the beach one night and he was thinking, these people, they don't think they have a prayer of getting through medical school. They could never pass the medical boards to get into any other university. He said, I'm going to create something different. So he told them, he said, I'm going to be here for you. I'm going to work with you, but you have to do your part. And he said, you have to mentor one another. You've got what it takes. He said, the biggest thing that you have that is needed is this desire to be a doctor. Who wants to be a doctor? Everyone said, I want to be a doctor. He said, okay, that's our starting point. And we're going to cooperate. Well, let me tell you something. It changed everything. The spirit of communication and cooperation changed everything. And they began to ace these tests. And they began to get confident and change their negative thinking and their self-talk. And they gave themselves permission to be successful students and to prepare to be a doctor. And they began to see themselves from within the purview of being a doctor already. When that whole training was over, he said many of them went back to Europe or America or wherever it was, and they applied and they were immediately able to get into medical school in these big higher learning places. And it was why? Because they saw themselves not as these limited beings. They saw themselves in a cooperative, loving, compassionate, committed type of environment where everyone was committed not only to getting the best for themselves, but helping one another. So that's who we are. That is really who we are. We are God. We are inhabiting these bodies, but we are so much more. And if we get it, people, that we are here to help one another, to be one, Jesus always said, I and the Father are one, and we were like, whatever. And he said, but you are one too. We are all one. And if you think about that, it is really an extraordinary thought. Now, I want to bring in Cindy Jordan. She's our musicologist, and she has a beautiful song for us that you can just sit back and relax and maybe close your eyes if you want to. And the song is, I Am Loved.
Hi everyone, it's your friend Cindy Jordan, and I loved it when Jesus said, when you look at the world through the eyes of a child, you can see the kingdom of heaven. I wrote a song about that. The magic road to happiness is just a thought away. Think about when you were a child. Remember a happy day. For this is the time we believe dreams can all come true. It's time to remember you are loved. You are loved from galaxies beyond. You are loved. Sing the sacred song. Open up your mind. Listen to your heart. It's time to remember you are loved. Let the child take you back to that happy day when your life was easier and all you did was play. Now can be a brand new beginning. You can be born again. It's time to remember you are loved. Time is a healer. Your heart will mend when you look at the world through the eyes of a child. You can be born again. Try to feel the warm embrace of the greatest love of all. Let it heal your troubled mind when you're feeling small. Starlight shines the brightest in the darkest night. It's time to remember you are loved. You are loved from galaxies beyond. You are loved. Sing the sacred song. Open up your mind and listen to your heart. It's time to remember you are loved. It's time to remember you are loved. I love you.
Wasn't that wonderful? Don't you love these songs? You know, they just presence us. There is something magical about music, and it's sort of a primordial sound too, because there is the music of the universe. There is the music of the wind in the trees. There is the music of the ocean. And there is a separation of all of these things, but it is all in concert with one another. I read a story, and this woman, her name is Suzanne Simond, Simand, and she is a doctor of forestry, which you would go, really? And she got into this, and she was studying sort of like, well, why do forests, when they clear cut them and stuff, and then they plant other different trees, and the trees don't make it, you know, they have plenty of water, and they have plenty of sunlight, and they have plenty of everything they need. But she was interested in what was going on at a deeper level. And of course, she was like a female in this male-dominated group of forestry people. And they thought it was real girly for her to think this. But she said, no, no, no. She said, there's something else going on. And she realized that these forests, and she calls it the social life of forests. And her book is coming out in the spring. You might want to make a note of that. And she said, they're connected underneath, subterraneanly, not only by their roots, but by a whole system of living fungi. And they're in absolute communication with one another at all times. And that begs the question, what are they communicating about? And she said, it's very interesting because there are logs and trees that fall over and they become mother logs. And they're like nursery logs. And they, plants of all kinds and trees of all kinds plant themselves in these nursery logs, and they are nurtured until they can grow big enough. And it's extraordinary. And she said that if there are like leaf cutting types of predators, that the trees can communicate with one another and send out and emit in their essence and in their leaves a hormone or a substance that repels these attackers. So if you think about this, there is this huge system that has been heretofore really ignored and not understood. But they deal with each other with communication, cooperation, compassion, and love. Now, taking that a step further, she said, in her experience, these trees are also aware of us. That when we walk into the forest, they kind of bend in, to listen, to tap into our energy, because we're part of the ecosystem too. It's astonishing when you think who we really are. Who are we? Who we are is we are a part of the whole. We are a part of the God essence of all. And if we begin to treat ourselves and others with love, communication, cooperation, and compassion, everything changes, because we are all planted, if you will, in the same God essence. You can plant a seed, but you have no control over how that seed shows up. You have no control over, you don't know why planting it in dirt. I don't know why planting it in dirt activates the seed, but it does. And watering it creates this life force to come forth. So let's talk about who you are. What do you want? What are you grateful for? What's your purpose? Look at yourself as planting seeds of compassion, love, cooperation, communication with yourself and with others. Set aside some time to go within. Plant your own seeds. Reach out to other people. That is my desire with TUG, with creating this worldwide online church group without a church building, because there are so many people in this world who need to feel as if they are included, who need to be lifted up, to feel the compassion and the love and the fun. I can't reach them all. I can't travel all over the world. Other people can't either. But this particular medium is an awesome way for us to communicate and to reach out to others. Now, in wrapping this up today, I want to tell you we have a really special Sunday, next Sunday, which is the 20th of December. It's the Sunday before Christmas, because face it, after Christmas, no one wants to hear Christmas music. But Cindy Jordan, our musicologist, is doing a program for us with her music, and it is called The Magic of Christmas is Children, because children's hearts are so wide open and they are just joyous naturally. And Cindy has got songs, and she's got these wonderful hand puppets, and she's going to be doing music, and she has a song that she's written and sings. It's called I Spell Christmas, Love. So you're going to want to bring your families together, your kids, your grandkids, your cousins, your nieces, your nephews, and pull this up when you're ready. And we're going to have a joyous time. One of the things that I'm requesting of you is I need your help. I need your help in giving me some feedback. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you would like to see. What do you appreciate? What do you want to see more of? What do you want to see us expand to? All you have to do is email at trueugroup, TRUEU group @gmail.com. You can even send prayer requests. We have a prayer group and we can pray for you and lift you up. And then I would love to hear what the results of those prayers are. Also, I want to ask you to share. We do daily 2 minutes that can change your life messages, and that goes out Monday through Saturday. I upload them to YouTube, and I also put them on Facebook. So you can just subscribe to the channel, hit the subscribe button, the like button, the share button, hit the notifications bell so that you'll be notified every time a new video goes up. And if you see us as providing some substance for you, some love and some help and some inspiration as a church group and as a spiritual upliftment, you can certainly donate to us by hitting the donate button that takes you to PayPal. You can go to patreon.com/trueugroup. You can do a monthly donation. For all of you who are doing that, I thank you so much because we want this thing to burst worldwide. And it takes some effort and it takes a little bit of money. But I am just I'm not kidding you people. I can't wait to get up every morning and do what I do. It is that enlivening to me. I love it. I think you can tell that. And I love getting feedback. So I love you. I bless you. I behold the Christ in you. We'll see you next Sunday for our children's program with music and fun and laughter. And my wish for you is that you know who you are. You are a divine idea in the divine mind of God, and you are completely loved. Thanks.